Morning students, we have finished unit 5 molecular spectroscopy. We'll have just a fast recap of whatever we have finished. First one was microwave spectroscopy. Microwave spectroscopy got its name because the electromagnetic radiation we used is microwave, that is from 0.01 to 10 centimeter. Then changes occur in the rotational energy level. It doesn't contain any other energy level, so it is also known as pure rotational spectroscopy. The microwave region lies between IR and radio frequency region in the electromagnetic spectrum, and where we use it is determination of structure of molecules. What is a condition for rotational spectrum of a molecule is a molecule with a permanent dipole moment generates fluctuating or oscillating electric field by its rotation. So when you take the case of a molecule, the molecule will be rotating in on its own axis. So what happened is, those who have a dipole means there will be a change in the charges, a positive and negative charge will be there. So such type of molecules, when it is rotating on its own axis, generates an electric field by its rotation. When the frequency of oscillation of the molecule matches with the frequency of the electric field component of the incident microwave radiation, interaction occurs, and during this interaction energy can be absorbed and gives the spectrum. Okay, so this is what is the picture given. You have a molecule which with a dipole moment. So when it is rotating on its own axis, it generates an electric field which, when comes in resonance with that of the electric field of this wave, energy will be absorbed and the molecule in the lower level will go to the higher level. So what is the condition is, molecule must possess a permanent dipole moment. Those molecules which give the spectra, we call it as microwave active, and those will not give, we call it as microwave inactive. So heteroatoms like HBr, HCl, HI, etc. is microactive, whereas homonuclear molecules are microwave inactive. Then selection rule for rotational spectrum is delta J is equal to plus or minus 1, and in order for a molecule to give a rotational spectrum, it must have a permanent dipole moment. Other transitions we call it as forbidden transition. Then rotational energy, how we have taken is, we have considered a linear diatomic molecule, that is gas. Then rotation is the only effect considered. We are not considering vibration or translation or electronic changes and all. Then we consider that it's a rigid rotator, that is the bond connected between the two atoms is a rigid one, it's not a flexible one. So it will be keep on rotating like this. Okay, so based on that we are going to calculate rotational energy, and I am not going into the derivation part. Only just the starting one. So we have considered two masses m1 and m2. It is connected by a rigid mass, and taking considering that there is a center of gravity C point. The distance between the center of gravity and mass m is r1, and distance from the center of gravity to mass m2 is r2. The bond difference is the bond length between this is capital R. Considering this, we have find out rotational energy. E rotation of a molecule is equal to, E rotational is equal to J into J plus 1 h square divided by 8I r square joules. Normally we used to express this in terms of centimeter inverse, so we have to divide by hc. So when we divide this by hc, one of the h will be cancelled and c will be there. So the expression will become J into 8I c pi squared, sorry, h divided by 8I c r squared J into, sorry, E rotational is equal to J into J plus 1 h squared divided by 8I pi square. So when it is, this is expressed in joules, when it is divided by Hc, what happened is one of the hydrogen will be cancelled. So the expression will become epsilon j and H divided by 8 IC pi squared j into j plus 1 centimeter inverse. The term H divided by 8 IC pi squared can be written as B bar, which is known as rotational constant. So this expression epsilon j we can rewrite as Bj in B bar into j plus 1, where j is the rotational quantum number. Then based on that, if you calculate the rotational energy levels, we can see that we have different rotational energy levels with energy 0, 2 B bar, 6 B bar, 12 B bar, 20 B bar. This is what is the rotational energy levels or energy of the rotational levels. And a transition, when you take transition, is allowed only between delta J is equal to plus or minus 1. So if you calculate that one, what you have to do is, this is J is equal to 1, J is equal to 0. Between these two, if you calculate, what you get is that difference. This difference will be equal to 2 B bar into J plus 1. So rotational spectra of a rigid diatomic molecule consists of a series of lines at 2 B bar, 4 B bar, 6 B bar, 8 B bar. What it says is, this difference is 2 B bar, again this is 2 B bar, again this is 2 B bar. That is why if this is at 0, this will be 2 B bar. 2 B bar plus 2 B bar, 4 B bar. Like that you will be getting. And the spectra will be equally spaced. So we will get a spectra in this way. Due to this transition, what happened is 0. Second, it will be here, which will be 2 B bar separated. Okay. Again at 2 B bar separation, one more will be there. Again at another 2 bar, one more line will be there. So inge paathalu, this is 2 B bar, this is 4 B bar, this is 6 B bar, this is 8 B bar. It will be going. So it consists of equally spaced lines. And this is the transition given. So 0 to 2 B bar, this is J is equal to 0, 2 to 6 B bar, again this is the one, then 6 to 12, again this is the one. So these are the lines seeing, and what will be the difference between the spacing one? It will be a constant 2 B bar. And it's actually the curves only will be the, like the spectrum only will be getting, we will see it in the form of lines, and difference between each one is 2 B bar. And this is due to transition from 0 to 2B. This is due to from 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, like that it will be going. Then intensities of spectral lines. Intensity, does a molecule have more or less chance of making transition from J is equal to 1 or J is equal to, we have told that this is the energy levels. So A is equal to, delta J is equal to 1. So transitions can occur in this way. So now the question is whether more molecules will be residing here or in here or here. So that the intensity of the lines, you have different in lines here, whose intensity will be more. Okay. So if it is from 0 to 1 means this intensity should be more. If it is to 1 to 2 means second line will be having more intensity. If it is from 2 to 3, third line will be having more intensity. So that is what is the question. So when you take the intensities, it depends on two things, Boltzmann constant and degeneracy in the energy state. Boltzmann constant tells us that it is an approximation which tells us that at rest or at the normal one, there will be molecules in the higher excited state also. What we used to say is that molecules like to reside in a lower energy level. So what we may be expecting is all the molecules, if 100 molecules are there, 100 molecules is in the ground state. That is not the case. There can be molecules, maybe 60 will be here, 30 will be here, 20 will be here. Like that, it will be distributed among the excited state under the normal conditions. So that is Boltzmann distribution. Again, degeneracy in energy state means it's a phenomena where you have same energy levels will have same energy. So that type, that it depends both on degeneracy. If degeneracy is there means molecules will be distributed equally, is it? So that will also tell us the intensity. So we can say that the population is dependent on two factors. One is degeneracy and one is Boltzmann's distribution. Degeneracy is given by the expression 2j into j plus 1, and the Boltzmann constant is e raised to minus epsilon j divided by kt. So ഇതിനെ രണ്ടിനെ ഡിപ്പെൻഡ് பண்ணிയിരിക്കും the population of the molecules. ഇനി when we plot a graph connecting a population, that is nj by n0 against j, we will be getting a graph in this way. The shape of the graph will be a parabola having a maximum here. Okay, so when you differentiate, population rises to a maximum and then diminishes. Differentiation of the equation, ഈ equation differentiate പണിയാൽ, why we do differentiation is we want to calculate this maxima. Okay, so that we used to do dy by slope, dy by dx. Dy by dx is only differentiation. So when we differentiate it, what we get is j will be equal to square root of kt divided by 2hc b bar minus half. ഈ ഇക്വേഷനെ ഡിഫറൻഷിയേറ്റ് பண்ணும்போது ജെയുടെ വാല്യൂ இப்படி വരും. So what is j? It is rotational content number. So what it tells, maximum, the value of population maximum when it will be, when j value is near to this value. In the value വരുമ്പോൾ we will get the maximum value. Okay, so the transition between levels with very low or very high values will have small intensities, while the intensity will be maximum for j values at or near square root of kt divided by 2hc b bar minus half. അന്ന് ജെ വാല്യൂ വരുന്നിടത്ത് ഇൻറ്റൻസിറ്റി മാക്സിമം ആയിരിക്കും. ഇൻറ്റൻസിറ്റി ജെ വാല്യൂ ലെസ് ആയിരിക്കണം, 0 അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി 10, അപ്പടി ഹൈ ഓർ ലെസ് വരുന്നിടത്ത് intensity will be less. But when the j value is equal to this value, we'll get a maximum intensity. So that is what is intensity of the one. That is also an important factor. Then application of microwave spectroscopy, when you take, we can say that it is used for determination of moment of inertia and bond length. Moment of inertia we can find out. From where we find out? When we get the spectrum, we know the lines will be there which are equally spaced. So if you know what is the frequency here and what is the frequency here, you can find out the difference between these two frequencies. So that difference will be equal to 2b bar, that we have already find out. So if you know what is 2b bar, we can calculate I, because 2b bar is equal to h divided by 8 pi squared IC. What is I? I is moment of inertia. So we have calculated moment of inertia. Then what is the expression for I? I is equal to mu r square, where mu is the reduced mass and r is the bond length. So if you know the masses of the atom, then we can calculate R, because I we already determined from this expression. So that is how you can calculate what, that is what is the application of microwave spectroscopy. So in microwave spectroscopy, what are the things you have to remember is, what is the range where we will be using the spectrum, electromagnetic, it is microwave. Then we have calculated the expression for rotational energy of a diatomic molecule. We did it by considering it as a gaseous molecule having a rigid or acting as a rigid rotator. Okay, so that we have calculated. Then we have seen what are the types of molecules which give rise to microwave spectra. selection rule we have seen. Then the different energies of levels, rotational levels in the different energies we calculated. Then ഒരു transition നടക്കുമ്പോൾ J is equal to 0 to J is equal to 1 or J in J plus 1 transition നടക്കുമ്പോൾ what will be the energy delta E that we have find out. Then intensity of the rotational lines ഇതിനെ depend பண்ணி இருக்கும்னு we have find out. Then application of moment of inertia and bond length of a diatomic molecule we have find out. Okay, so next we have also done one more thing, which is isotopic substitution. That is, in the case of a polyatomic molecule, we can find out the bond length of polyatomic molecule. For that, what we used to do is we will take the microwave spectrum of one of the molecule. We did the example with carbon oxysulfide. So what we do is, first we will take the microwave spectrum of this molecule. Now any of this will be substituted by an isotope. For example, if this is 32, now we are going to take the molecule in such a way that sulfur is of 34. So what we get is these two molecules microwave spectrum we will take, and we can calculate the moment of inertia from this expression 2b bar. Okay, both the spectrum will give equal lines, and if you find out what is the difference between these two, we can get 2b bar. So 2b bar kadachala I we will get it. So I യുടെ expression വന്ന് it will depend on mass and bond length, that is COയും CS bond lengthനെ depend பண்ணி இருக்கும். Okay, அது இந்த രണ്ട് ஐயும் വന്ന് this is I and this is I dash ന്ന് we take. இது ரெண்டு கூட solve பண்ணியால் we can calculate what is the distance of CO and what is the distance of CS. So that is what is the bond length. ഇനി ഇത് വന്ന് instead of sulfur you can take oxygen also isotope. Anyone you have to take and you have to do it so that we can find out യുടെ expression വന്ന് it depends on mass of carbon, mass of oxygen, mass of sulfur and the distance between CO and distance between CX. What is distance between CO? That is the bond length of carbon oxygen bond, and the distance between carbon and sulfur is the bond length between carbon sulfur bond. So we can calculate both the things by solving I dash and I. So what we have to do is we should take the microwave spectrum of two compounds varying in isotope, or we should be substituted by an isotope. So that we call it as isotopic substitution or effect of isotopic substitution. That is valid for polyatomic molecule. Till what we discussed before, that is for a diatomic molecule. So that is what is the application. So microscopic spectroscopy consists of this much. Okay, then derivation of isotopic effect also I have discussed and given you. Kindly go through it. That is also very important one. உங்களோட புக்கில் வந்து கொஞ்சம் தப்பு இருக்குது, அதனால வந்து do it in the way what I have told. Okay, last expression வந்து உங்களோட புக்கில் வந்து it is given wrong. I is equal to ms RCS squared minus MC R squared CO plus 2 MO ms RCO RCS minus MC R squared CS it should come. Okay, அதே மாதிரி I dash னு வரும்போது it is MC, it is written as M dash S. So on the change you have to do it, otherwise what I told you can follow. That is I have given in simple way only. So that is isotopic substitution. That is also an important one. Again, numerical problems we have done based on this, so that is also important. Okay, kindly go through that, study well. Once again I am saying spectroscopy is a topic where you will using if you are in the chemistry field. Whatever be the field, chemistry field you are, industry, teaching, research, anyone, Without spectroscopy you can't go. So kindly understand it and go ahead instead of by hearting. Only basics are there for you, so you understand what is happening there. Keep in mind that and go ahead. Okay, thank you. We'll see IR and electronic spectroscopy next time. Okay.